Okay, ladies, I'm going to make a suggestion that might sound like heresy, but I'm actually going to suggest that you weigh yourself now and then do not weigh yourself for the next 8 weeks. Particularly if you are unable to get on the scale without feeling triggered, or if you attribute the number on the scale to your self-worth. Feeling good about your body is what is important here, not the number on the scale. Weighing yourself can be particularly counterproductive if you feel stressed while you are weighing yourself, because the cortisol that's released during that experience actually can cause you to gain more weight. Try to feel into the changes of your body and measure your success by how your clothes fit. We are going to use one number here to help us measure your progress, and that is waist to hip ratio. This number is actually more important than the numbers on the scale in terms of our long-term health, but also in terms of how we feel about our body composition. Currently, BMI, or body mass index, is most widely used by doctors to gauge whether a person is healthy, overweight, or obese. However, researchers say that BMI is actually a bad indicator of how healthy we are, because it can lead doctors to prescribing the wrong treatments for patients. Researchers found that there are people with a normal BMI, yet they have central obesity. A high waist to hip ratio indicated a 22% increase in the risk of death. In perimenopause, we may find that our shape is turning more from an hourglass into an apple. This is actually a concern for our long-term health. The apple shape indicates higher levels of visceral fat. We've spoken about visceral fat before, but as a recap, visceral fat is the fat that's inside of our torso, between our organs. You can't always see it or feel it. Compared to other forms of fat, like subcutaneous fat just below the skin, the visceral fat is much more likely to increase your risk for serious medical issues, including heart disease, Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, stroke, and high cholesterol. Visceral fat is also metabolically active. It makes its own hormones and is linked to hormone-related cancers. Researchers suspect that visceral fat makes more of certain proteins that inflame the body's tissues and organs, in addition to narrowing blood vessels. This can make blood pressure rise and can cause other medical problems. I will be giving you information about how to mitigate visceral fat in future talks. So, as I mentioned, the weight on the scale is not a good indicator of your health, your long-term health. Let me show you how to determine your waist to hip ratio. You will need a tape measure in order to perform this activity. So the first measurement we're going to take is the waist measurement. And what I want you to do is measure around the smallest part of your waist, which is probably just above your belly button. So on me, that's right around here. So you don't want to pull the tape too tight. Then your hip measurement is coming from the widest part of your hip. So try to find the widest part of your hips. Today, your job is to follow the links below and perform your waist to hip ratio.